Okay, so I'm good to see you. Good to welcome you back to Leicester for 25. If we can start first of all with a quick look back at last season. Obviously, the main highlight for you personally must have been the under 21 win at Glasgow, and that really gave you a big kick forward.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it was one of those things. It was sort of wasn't really, I guess, one of the ones to win it for that meeting. As some people obviously did, and then obviously a lot of people didn't. But yeah, it was obviously a good step in the right direction. Obviously, it's what you want. It's a title that a lot of people haven't won, and it's grateful to say you've done it. And yeah, from then on, it was good. And then obviously I had a little bit of a down part, but that does happen. And but no, looking forward to this year.
That was obviously around the same time you were also joining Leicester in the Premiership. You were scoring big points for Poole in the Championship as well. Were you expecting the call from the Premiership at that time, or did you think it might have come earlier? What were your thoughts on going into the top league?
I knew it'd come around. It was one of those things I didn't know who it'd be with. I was talked to a couple of clubs, but to sort of go with it, I was definitely looking at like sort of around Leicester, and obviously working with Stuart the previous year at Birmingham. So it was yeah, obviously we kept in touch in general. But no, obviously it was great to be signed by Leicester, and glad to be back with Leicester again.
And obviously part of a team that went all the way to the Premiership Grand Final. And obviously there was plenty of drama along the way, especially the semi final against Ipswich. Lots of talking points. It didn't work out in the end in the final against Bellevue, but it was still a positive year for Leicester.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a lot of people probably doubting Leicester, probably mid year, I'd say just before. And then we sort of went into a massive roll again, a bit like they did last year before 2 years ago. Sorry, obviously, like you say, they lost it out of Peterborough, but that role they went with and the role we had, obviously, we lost it. But like you say, it was we made it to the final, even if it wasn't technically some people's eyes. We were lucky. We still made it through to the final, and you had to be in it. Obviously, like you say, and you could be on the worst in on the other side, and you could have deserved it or not deserved it. So things happen, and no, like I say, it was a great opportunity for the club, especially obviously Paul Cairns, who bought the club, and his first year he managed to go into the Premiership final. So it's it just shows you what hopefully this year we can set up to, and yeah, try and carry on the form we finished towards the end of the season with the start and try and maintain that.
Like you say, there were obviously there were ups and downs, which will always be the case, especially when you're a young rider coming into the league for the first time. You started pretty well, you had a bit of a dip, then you got yourself back together again. Can I ask how much of a blow you had a crash at Berwick, quite a nasty one actually at one point. Did that set you back along the way?
Probably more than I would like to have wished, and not too much, but I think Steve was very headstrong. Obviously, if you don't sort of one thing can knock a loads of things, but I think that being young as well, you sort of learn to sort of overcome that. And obviously, I had a lot going on. Obviously, I had three clubs. I had, I was riding a lot, majority 2 to 3 times a week. Every week. So it was I never had no breaks, and it's one of those things. It was good and bad. I'm glad I've done it. Like you say, that many meetings in 1 year, and the amount of miles I've done. So, but that definitely probably didn't help. I reckon because obviously I was on. It was going to come eventually, though. I was on a massive high. Obviously, I think I only had really 3 or 4 bad meetings up until end of July. So that's a pretty good run, really, in the respect of meetings, and yeah, that just knocked it, I reckon, and sort of all went downhill from there. But I've done a lot, sort of, with that sort of tooth thing, because that caused a lot of issues, a lot more than I actually the public sort of know. It sounds silly, but it's a tooth, and obviously that is also the worst pain that can be. So I was in a lot of pain for a lot of months where it didn't really go away. Sort of a lot better now, and yeah, it's one of those things. It happens. I've also learned to deal with that, which obviously at the time it was very unnatural, because half my tooth was missing and half of it's false. So it's a weird feeling. So there's a few problems here and there, but I've learned to deal with it and overcome it, which is obviously at the time didn't really expect that.
Yeah, it sounds very painful. Promoters got together very early, especially when it came to Rising Stars for this year. So I think it was the middle of October that everything was pretty much sorted out. That must have been good for you to get some clarity that you were staying put, and then very quickly the Leicester team came together, and it is very similar. Well, it's just the one change, in fact, with Carl Howard coming in. So to have that consistency must have been good to go into the winter.
Yeah, I actually knew a little bit before that me and Stuart were speaking. Obviously, with the down dip I had, it was still touchy. Obviously, Stuart could quite easily change his mind. But then, obviously, I think Bellevue did change things for me. Obviously, that was my best meeting in the Premiership, and I will go good there. Obviously, I rode in National League there for 2 years, and I've done a lot of laps around there. But it was still a very tough meeting and very tough conditions with the rain coming down from, I think it was heat 8 or something. So it was always still going to be tough. But no, it was a good meeting for me there, and I think that just kind of, staying with Leicester and Stuart. I think like I'm a Berwick with Stuart now as well, so I think that is a very beneficial thing for me.
Yeah, because it looked at one point like you might not be, or might not have a club in the Championship, or certainly it seemed to take a while to get that sorted out. So that must have been a relief because, especially with not being National League as well, you need to be riding and to be doing both leagues.
Yeah, obviously that was an unfortunate thing. It is Speedway, unfortunately. Which me and Stuart did speak about Berwick, but it wasn't. It was a bit touch and go. But yeah, there was one chance where I wouldn't have been doing Championship, which is crazy to think that I had a really good season and I had struggled the last 2 months, and then my average went up. I went to a 5 something, and dropped a little bit with the obviously the struggle and the decrease, and yeah, I was literally looking without a club. No one wanted me, which is crazy to think you improved in so much and you're struggling to get a championship spot. There was a couple of people, obviously, but then it was all up in the air. So I'm glad, and I'm glad to be with Stuart at Berwick. That was one of the places I did want to go to. Obviously, it's a unique track, but I think that will learn the best for me as well. And like I say, being on the same team manager, I think that will be very helpful.
And when you go back to Leicester, it'll be a case of you'll know everyone on and off track. You won't be walking as a newbie anymore, and you would hope, I would think, that the team can just, as you say, pick up where they left off because you do all know each other.
Yeah, that's obviously one good thing. We literally are the same team at the end of the year, apart from Kyle. But Kyle knows every single person there, so he'll fit in just fine. And obviously, he's been around a while, so he won't. It's not like he's new to sport, so he's going to gel in very nicely. And yeah, it's one of those things. I reckon we can definitely pick up where we left off. So yeah, we just keep on going.
Take us behind the scenes to an extent because Stuart is well known and always has things to say. But supporters, particularly who walk into stadiums early on, will see all the team walking around the track beforehand. Then you all get together in a huddle on the first bend. Tell us if you can. I'm not sure if you can, but what sort of things does Stuart bring up at these meetings? What does he talk about?
A lot of stuff that you can't understand with his Scottish accent. No, he's very good. Where it needs a bit of talking to, he'd be the one to tell you as well, and definitely tell you where you're going wrong. He will always tell you about when he rode his bike. But no, it's one of those things. To me, he's from Birmingham onwards. It's been quite helpful to me. Just yeah, good person to be the sort of team manager for all the clubs I've been with so far. And obviously, like you say, he was one of the people who brought me into Birmingham, brought me into the championship. So to sort of be back with him in the championship, I'm quite glad with, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with him at Leicester. So yeah, it'd be good to keep him going.
Premiership has got stronger and tougher. Certainly in the last, well, certainly since COVID, last 2 or 3 years, we've seen top riders coming back in. There's more faces returning this year at other tracks. What are your thoughts on the league as a whole? Because it's really difficult. But I guess when you have a good ride, when you have a good win, that just must boost the confidence even further.
Yeah, obviously, like you say, individual wins and team wins is like win a race, and then even in a team sport can also improve so much. And like you say, there was a few times if you just get a 5-1 or a 4-2, and that will make so much of a difference. Um, but yeah,
Talking about preparations for the season? Well, first of all, you went to Australia, which you've done before. Unfortunately, you had a concussion, I think, which probably cut short some of your racing. Although we did see a bit of you in action on live stream. So how beneficial was the Australia trip this year?
Yeah, obviously it was a massive thing when it, and it was it was good. It was good. Obviously, last year, the year before that, sorry, as in 2023 and 24 was brilliant for me, and I think that's where I learnt a lot. This year, obviously, yeah, like I said, it was not well. End of last year, it wasn't ideal, obviously, being concussed, but it was a few. Obviously, that was quite tough for me for some reason. I sort of never really been knocked out before, not properly. It wasn't. Well, I was knocked out, I think, for a minute or so, or 30 seconds, which is obviously they said was quite a long time still. So it's not ideal. That was quite hard to come back from. I think that sort of threw me a little bit more than I wanted to, and I felt good, really good in that meeting. I sort of actually felt where I sort of picked off, sort of thing. And it was just one of those things. It was it was stuff happens in it, so it wasn't meant to be. And yeah, the rest of that I kind of had a couple of bad meetings, and that was a bit of a head game. But the last two I did was a little bit better. So a bit of a learning curve, I think, to move forward with. And obviously the Sedgman family were amazing to me with that, and Jason and Stewart as well, and the whole Mildura Motorcycle Club. And the last 2 years they have been like a second home. So it's crazy to think that I've improved just so much by going away, sort of thing. But yeah, brilliant to do that. And yeah, like I say, come back a little bit, left a little bit early, and left come back a little bit early this year, which is more preparation for the season. And yeah, like I say, we still just under a month, just over a month, sorry. So I think got a lot to get going still.
Yeah, now you're back in the freezing UK and getting ready for the new season. What is going on? Is it bike building? Is it working on your own fitness? What's the schedule for the next few weeks?
Tinkering a bit with the bikes, and no, obviously, yeah, training, personal training, obviously going with that. And like you said, that's been going good. And obviously they are tinkering at bikes and getting ready for the season very slowly. Obviously, still got a little bit of a while, not too long, but just building a couple of stuff, and new parts, sort of this, that, and the other, and just getting ready to bikes are definitely good, and getting all the engines and that done. So yeah.
And when do you plan to be back on track anyway? I know Leicester got their press day on the 20th of March. That Premiership does come up before the Championship this year. So when can we expect to see you on track somewhere?
Whenever Leicester's get the track ready. No, it's I have a planned practice day at Workington with Scott Nichols and Paul Hurry. So that's at the end of this month and start of March. So that will be the start. And then wherever practice days available, I'll try and do. Obviously, that's where I need to still got to do a lot to learn. Obviously, you being young anyway, so yeah, a lot to learn, and that's the aim to sort of move forward with that.
Okay, and just finally, Sam, if we were to talk again at the end of the season, around October, November time, what would you like to have achieved by then on an individual and team basis? What do you think is possible this year?
Definitely want to win the leagues with both clubs, and a personal goal. There's definitely want to be on the 21 British champion again. I don't see why I can't. Obviously, there's a lot of talks of everyone else, but I definitely think I'm still not. I still think I'm probably the underdog again, but I think it's something I'm working very hard towards now, and I want to retain the title. And another goal, I do want to be in the SGP too. It is a goal to be. It's my last year. It'd be good to win it. It is a goal to win it. Obviously, we'll see what happens. Obviously, that was a very tough field, but if you put your mind to it, anything can be done. So
Lovely. Sam, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you not too far away now in March. Thank you.
thank you.